So coming to you live from the Hacker Outdoors podcast epicenter here in northern New Jersey. It is 7:39. I just wanted to make that aware that, per the usual, Joseph McCormick is late. This will go into an outtake, of course. But you know who's never late to these meetings? I'm going to take the webcam and point it over here for a moment so you can see the adorableness that is never late here. He's not impressed. And all those bite marks on that picture up there, that's from him. That's a silk picture from India that was taken back by my grandparents probably a good 40, 50 years ago. But yes, this is not impressed at all. So, Joey, when you're watching this, when this, is released, I think it would be important for you to know that Finnegan is not impressed. So we're going to continue here while we're waiting an update on the comings and goings of young man Finnegan. Always a good time.
Good stuff. Let me turn it off.
No, it's enjoyable. Let's sit here for an hour and listen to that because
well, he's in Afghanistan right now, which is
I like Afghanistan. It's one of the things. This will make the be real, I guess. But Afghanistan would have been a cool place to visit. There was a lot of history. Obviously, the Silk Road ran through it. There was the world's largest Buddha that was destroyed by the Taliban.
Yeah,
I think right around the time of 9/11.
That's what he was just. That's what he was just talking about. All the stuff that has been destroyed because of the religion.
Well, yeah, that's a story for another time. But welcome everyone. We are live with Joseph McCormick, of course, who is joining us from the dirty, dirty South with his Columbia hat on, right? That's a nice American flag hat.
It is a Columbia hat.
You can't see your eyes though. That's the.
I'll fix that.
Beautiful.
I have to get a Kleenex. My nose is running.
Well, we'll have to.
Hold on one second.
Well. While we're waiting on Joey there, in case you didn't see that, for those of you who are only listening to this and not watching on YouTube, Joe's got amazing locks of hair going.
And I'm back.
I'm talking to try and fill in the space here while you were blowing your nose. And I said,
well, it was going to be quick.
Amazing locks of hair going on there. And it's definitely appreciated. That's some beauty, man. Holy cow.
I'm not sure when I'm going to cut it, if I'm going to cut it.
Okay, Samson, you'll be all right.
I got to keep it long.
Well, you're number 3, is it? Is that what you said the other day? 3rd?
So in the ABA-PA division, I am leading the co-angler of the year, and I am only like 3 points back from the lead of actual angler of the year. I'll tell you right
That's
now.
That's what it was.
It's all stacked up pretty close there.
Now we're for those of you who are listening and watching this, we are posting these again on YouTube as per user request. So we are backing up the number of episodes that we have. So we're going to skip like 2 or 3 weeks where we haven't posted anything, and then what we're going to do is we're going to get all these up over the course of a few weeks while we're recording. So we are recording this on July 22nd. This is basically a week in between Joe's 2 tournaments. Last week you were on, where were you? You were on the
Upper Chesapeake Bay. So I have 747 points. So I am The lead's 757, so I'm 10 off Angler of the Year, and I'm only like 2 points from second. So
Well, to circle,
co-Angler of the Year, it's pretty much a done deal.
so let's do that circle back here for a moment. So Joe is not going to cut his hair because he is Samson, the biblical biblical character where, obviously he can't cut his hair because he loses his strength. So
Yes.
we're rooting for you, brother. This is awesome. You have another tournament coming up this weekend. Where are you this weekend?
Beautiful Lake Champlain out of Plattsburgh, New York. So
I
I'll
just
be
saw,
driving tomorrow for a little bit, and
yeah.
actually I
Good.
might be going by you.
I was gonna say stop by for some eats on your way.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I should be leaving real early in the morning,
Okay.
but I do want to stop at Susquehanna Fishing
Of
Tackle.
course you do, and you'll spend about 4 hours there, of course, because that's what happens.
Um,
Um, I love it. I don't blame you. What is his name? The pro fisherman Oliver. What's his last name? Out of California. Oh my God. Uh, NG in
Chris
Nye.
Aldane.
No, Oliver Nye, and uh,
Is he a
I.
bass fisherman?
He's a bass fisherman. Yeah, he's up in Lake Champlain. I just saw a post, and I'm thinking I have too many things going on in my head. I'm trying to find
Oh,
his name on.
there's been a lot of tournaments. So Champlain so far this year has had the Bassmaster Elites were there. I think what 2.5 weeks ago. I think MLF's been there. That was before that. Um, but the Elites just finished their New York swing with Champlain, and then they finished on the St. Lawrence Lake Ontario. Um,
Awesome.
Out of
So
California, like Chris Aldane's one.
no, I think I believe he was. He fished with the meat eater guys, if I remember correctly, on one of the episodes. There were musky. He converted. He's a big musky fisherman now, but
Oh,
he's really big into the bass world. He was here in New York, New Jersey, during the migration, the striped bass migration, and he was doing a tournament in the New York Harbor.
mm,
So
yeah, I'm not sure who that is.
yeah, I'll find it and I'll link to his stuff in here. I'm not gonna hold my phone in front of me while we're here recording and try and find it, but I will post it in the notes, and of course I will send it to you, Joseph.
Good
So
deal.
we are trying to stick to individual topics as we're recording. That's kind of the goal going forward. And the topic of this one is what, Joseph? What did you want to talk about today?
Oh, how about you? I mean, we could talk about the past tournament, the upcoming tournament.
I
We
wanted to
could
talk
talk
about
about boats.
Let's talk about both of the tournaments. We'll save the boats
Okay.
for the second. So the goal, of course, is to keep these in about a half hour increments. So we'll do about 30 minutes or so, maybe 40 minutes on this. Of course, as we have guests on, we'll shoot for longer episodes. But I think that the episode with Mark was fantastic.
It was.
I had some really good feedback on that. I wish more people would listen to it. I'm going to go ahead and repost it on social because he had a lot of great nuggets in there. So
Did you post that one on YouTube or only?
no, no, only on, yeah. He didn't want to record video, so because he was
uh,
sitting on the deck, yeah. Um, but
Gotcha.
all good. For those of you who are listening to this, go check out Mark Anthony Spagnola. Fantastic episode, and we're going to dive into some fishing. Joe, talk about last weekend, which let's look at the dates here. What were the dates on that? Because when
Oh,
this goes
dear
live,
Lord.
this is going to be a little bit off there. That was the 17th, 18th.
Yeah, so we were out on Saturday, which was the 17th. When I got off the water, I think it was like 98 degrees with 100% humidity. It was unbelievably hot. I got in the water actually. Um, and besides getting in the water, I also took my hook shirt off, which is
Oof.
like that cooling
Yeah,
like
the UV
lycra
shirt.
material, the
Yeah.
UV shirt. And I just kept dunking that in the water and putting it back on, and that really helped keep me cool. But I mean, it was a hell of a hot day. Good day. Me and my boater were fishing in areas where the water was the highest I saw was 92 degrees. Out on the flats, which is a big area, which is kind of where I wanted to be. Out on the flats, I was told the temperatures were low 80s. we were back in shallow creeks, and it was hot. I did good. I caught one good fish. Um,
Was it
a couple
so?
of things.
Take me through, because we're going to do another one where we talk about what I was doing this past that weekend, we'll say.
Mhm.
But it was hot. What you're in the northern Chesapeake, which is, if I'm not mistaken, you're up by what,
Delaware.
the Delaware, right? Okay.
So the
So
Susquehanna, they call it the Susquehanna Flats because the flats are pretty much right by near where the Susquehanna River dumps into the bay. Um, the town we launch out of, where the bay ends, right there, is northeast Maryland. Um, which is, I mean, you're so close to Delaware, so close to Delaware.
and
It's
what's the
unbelievable.
town that you launch from? Is that Harvard de Grace, or are you going out of like
We go,
somewhere around there?
so we go out of northeast. Havre Grace is further towards me, further, so that'd be south, further south down the bay. If you look at a map of the bay, we're at the northern point of it is northeast Maryland. It's pretty much where it ends. Um, and most tournaments on the Upper Bay launch out of there.
Okay.
The Susquehanna, the flats, they call them the flats, is a really big, popular, good fishing area. It's a huge grass flat. I mean, it's ginormous. Um, and it's huge bass in there.
Yeah, I'm looking at a map now. So that's so I see it. It's literally looks like, I mean, if you don't know the Chesapeake Bay, I'm a map nerd. I love looking at maps. It's kind of cool to see. Like, I see Arundel, I see Elk River, Red Point, Elk Neck State Park, Charleston Northeast, Carpenter Point. You have this confluence of just bodies of water, right, coming into
Yep.
that. So you're fishing that whole little area, including up
But
to the
we're north
Susquehanna.
of the Elk River. If you look past Elk
Yeah.
River, go to the very tippy point there,
Yep.
where it says northeast. That's where we launch, which is the end of the bay.
Okay.
Um, to the left there, you got the Susquehanna River dumping down in by Havre de Grace, and the flats are. You see Havre de Grace. The flats are this big area that's just. Are we sharing?
Yeah, if you want to, of
Yeah,
course.
because it's kind of crazy to see how big these flats are. Let's see.
Yep,
Share.
you should have the
Yep.
ability.
All right, let me blow this up. Go away. Go away.
I'm
So
doing two.
the
There we
flats.
go.
Can you see my arrow where my arrow's pointing? So there's
Yeah.
Havre de Grace. The
Yep.
flats are like in here, and they're huge, huge area. We're just really super shallow with a lot of grass. Um,
Yeah.
the depths are anywhere on the flats from say 6 feet down to 1 foot. Just real shallow area with a lot of grass flats in there. But yeah, guys, we fish. There's a whole bunch of docks. I mean, you could fish all the way down. Back when the Leafs were here, the one guy was fishing all the way down, way down south. Um, but
Yeah.
the fishing on the bay has been incredible as far as weights. The past few years, it's really been top notch.
I know we were talking a little bit about, the kind of the how we're targeting as the temperatures rise, and obviously fishing in shallow water, it must have been, I mean, the water temperature itself was pretty damn hot, right?
Where we were fishing, because we were fishing back in creeks, small
Okay.
creeks like Northeast Creek. Um, it was way warmer than it was out in the bay and the flats because it's way shallower. Water's not moving as much. I did see temperatures like at 92, 94 in a couple of spots
In the water.
in the water.
Wow.
But
Okay.
the guys who were out in the flats told me they were seeing the highest they saw was like 84, which is
Okay.
more about right, which is still warm, but you know, um,
So when
I
when it's that warm, and you go into this, if you don't mind me hijacking the conversation a little
but
bit here, what do you how are you targeting? I mean, obviously, we're talking warm water species, obviously, smallmouth bass, largemouth bass. Um, they're used to this. But obviously, like I notice in the summertime, as it gets hotter, the water temperature increases, it becomes increasingly more difficult to catch these fish because they're sitting deeper. But you're talking about
right.
flats area that, you know, there's nowhere really for them to go. But obviously, when you say flats, there's grass flats, so there's a lot of grass cover. Are
Mm-hmm.
they hiding deep in there, and is the goal to punch through that grass to target them, or?
They're in the grass. Like I said, the deepest part I ever fish on the flats is like 6 feet. So it's
Yeah.
not too deep. They stay up in that grass. Um, get in the grass, or you find the holes in the grass, or you find the hard grass line. Um, so where you'll find spots where there's just holes in the grass, and if you can find those, it's the ideal place to pitch your bait into. Um, you catch them out there on chatterbaits, ripping chatterbaits through the grass, swim jigs, um, finesse, Ned rigs, drop shot, um, top water. You can throw top water out there, a lot of top water, which there's days where it's really, really fun throwing that top water out there when they're biting it. It's also a tidal system too. So, you got your tide swings, you got your low
Yeah.
and your high, and then your dead tide. That can make it interesting. But a lot of the times when I'm out there, I'm fishing finesse, chatterbaits, and swim jigs pretty much. And I always have a top water tide on, whether it be a frog or, I think the winning weight last week I was just trying to look that up, was 20 pounds. I think that was right. And that's a good summer weight. The bay puts up some good 20.45 pounds was the winning weight, 5 fish.
It's kind of crazy to say, like, that's, you were saying in the fall, not the fall, the spring, right? The pre-spawn, the weights were what? Like, what was the big one? It was like
24.
Yeah, like there's a big difference there. I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot, but that's a big difference.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, even 20 pounds in the dead heat of summer like that, I was surprised.
Yeah.
The bay's been really holding big fish. And last year, a couple guys, one guy caught one. I think it was like a 9.65, and I think he had like a 28-pound bag. It was something insane. The bay's really, really gotten really good.
Now,
There's tough days, but
when you're fishing in the Upper Bay, do you go up the Susquehanna?
sometimes we the Susquehanna.
Susquehanna. There you go.
Sometimes it depends the boat or
Yeah.
time of the year. Sometimes I do. I've caught some good smallies up there, some good bags. It's weird because you can go up there and you can throw crankbaits because you don't have the grass. You can throw cranks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you'll get smallmouth, and it can be really good up there. I don't know. We had the tournament back in May, I think, on there, and I caught 2 really nice smallies up there on the Susquehanna on crankbaits, and a couple of 3 other largemouth. So it's been good. I also had a tournament on the Delaware since we talked last.
That's true. I forgot about that. Well, we talked about it, but we did not talk about it on this.
I did well, but my partner put a hell of a bag of smallmouth together for the Delaware. I mean, I think he was like a 14 something. Wow. And that surprised me because we were up north in that town by Trenton, basically. We were in Trenton fishing these rocks. And I was surprised by the size of some of these smallmouth he was catching out of there. I didn't know they were there like that. Which is mind blowing. I did well there too.
Are you texting your late night booty call?
No, I was trying to see what the weight was. Yeah, my fish booty call.
Your fish booty call. You trying to
I was trying to see what that winning weight was on the Delaware without making it so obvious. But Michael put me on the spot with my fish booty call.
There you go. I heard it go. Boop.
I can give you that winning weight now that I've been called out.
Always a good time, Joe.
I can't find it. Can't find it.
That's right.
Can't find it, but
400 pounds.
He had a good bag, and I think I finished in third. One call, and we would have finished 1 and 2. Me and my partner.
Yeah, he put you on the fish, man.
He did.
Yeah,
he did. I was being stubborn that day.
Yeah, I get that way too, man.
That's one thing you can't be with fishing is stubborn. I knew. So Brian Schmidt won the Bassmaster Elite event on Lake Champlain, and I think it was on day 3. He lost like 3 or 4 fish because he was throwing a drop shot because his drop shot hook was just slightly bent. And he even said in the interview, he's like, it's like I had a feeling that was slightly bent. I didn't change it. I didn't go with my gut. Luckily, it end up costing him because he won the event and brought the blue trophy home to Maryland. But that's what that day, I caught a fish. I knew the hook was bent. I had a feeling it was. It just looked a little off. And I don't know, about an hour and a half, I realized I should probably change it. And Didn't lose any more fish.
It's frustrating when you're out on the water and you. I was fly fishing this past weekend, right? So I did, the Tough Mudder on Saturday, and then I did
Of mudder.
a Tough Mudder, which we'll talk about in another podcast. But I did that, and then the next day, recovery day, I just was like, it's been raining a lot up here. I don't know if it's been raining down there as much as it has up here, but the Delaware River is like, I'll send you some photos that my buddy Mark has been sending me. He's up in Barryville, New York this week, and it is extremely high. So I was fishing the Rockaway River, and I mean, it was dark and muddy. I was targeting carp because, that's what I do. I target other species, unlike some people, and I want to catch one. So it is what it is. And I knew where they were because Don and I had done a float trip, and there was this great patch of grass that I wanted to target. There was a school of them that I saw maybe a week and a half ago. The water was so clear, so low, and knew it was going to be high because it's been raining like crazy. And I get there and I was just like, and I was throwing the same thing over and over again, and I knew it wasn't going to work. Right, the carp. I was trying to catch a carp on a fly, right? So it's different than on a traditional spinning reel, right? I'm not throwing it out there and letting it sit with a heavy weight. I'm throwing out a woolly bugger and a couple other things, and kind of letting it sit there in the water column, and hoping that they're going to see it because the water's so high and murky. Typically, you want to do that when you're sight fishing, but it was so high and so frustrating to see that it's just like I knew I should change it out, and I should have gone back to my car because I had my spinning rod in the car. I should have just done it because I love being outside. I love fishing regardless of whether or not I'm catching fish, but I want to catch fish. And you got to change it out. If you know it's not working and you're doing everything, like, you don't want to change things out. Sometimes you don't want to change out your fly. You don't want to change your hook. You don't want to do this because it takes time and effort. And, tying some of these intricate knots, it's frustrating, right? You're sweaty, it's hot, you're slightly dehydrated, you're probably hungry, probably got to pee, and you did not want to change your stuff out. And we've all been there. So it's amazing you still did that. You're muted. There you go.
Unmuted now?
There you go. You're unmuted. Oh,
What's the chance of that? The thing is, I can tie those knots like this. I was just being a stubborn person.
well, on
And
traditional tackle, it's easy, but on
oh yeah,
fly rod,
fly. I couldn't do
I
that.
can't. Hey,
But I've gotten so good at tying my leader that
yeah.
I think I timed myself at 2 minutes on the boat, and that was with me
Wow.
talking and doing it. Um, that's something you do have to practice. You got to get your knots right when fishing because you don't want to go out
100%.
there with and lose a fish because you tied a crappy knot.
Nope. Nope. You do not, because
Especially
that
if you're
is
using fluorocarbon, because fluorocarbon, if you tie the wrong knot, the line can dig in itself and nick that, and you know, set ball game match done. I've been guilty of that before. I learned the hard lesson. Never
yeah.
again will I let that happen, but it
Let
happens.
let's go from there. So you had that great tournament last
Mm-hmm.
weekend. This weekend you're up in Champlain. So, you're going from flats, on a river, tidal river, really, to a lake in upstate New York. So completely different in so many respects. Are you targeting, is it known for largemouth or smallmouth?
Got both in there. It's got
It does.
both. It's got good largemouth and good smallmouth too. Yeah, it's got
And
both. So I'll be targeting both.
okay. And what are you doing going into this? What is the thought process? What are you like thinking? Okay, what are we targeting? What are the depths? Once again, because you are in upstate New York, Vermont, right? Um,
It's cooler up there. When the elites were up there, they were still finding some fish on beds and stuff. Um, Everything's later the more north you go. It's gonna be a lot of post spawn. Um, a lot of finesse. A lot of guys throw a lot of finesse up there, whether it be Ned rigs, drop shots, um, shaky heads. Um, Also, a big player for the elites were jerk baits. A lot of those guys were throwing some jerk baits and spy baits. Um, Chatterbait will play. Swim jig will play. Um, it will be good. I figure probably most of my fish are probably going to be caught on finesse. Um, it looks like we're going to have a nice day. I think the high is like 75.
oh, that's beautiful,
The
man.
night before, it's like 55-degree low at night. So
Oh,
they're going to be eating. They're going to be chomping. So it's going to be good. The winning baits up there for Champlain with the leads, because they always show what the winning weights were, baits that were used. Actually, Toyota Series had an event there last weekend. My buddy took ninth overall. Last weekend, they were throwing a lot of finesse, whether it's drop shot, wacky worms, Ned rigs. Some guys threw jerk baits. A couple guys had a jerk bait tied on. Flukes were playing last weekend. Some jigs, swim jigs were playing, and chatterbaits. So,
Hmm.
a good plethora. I'll have a Ned rig tied on. I'll have a drop shot tied on. I'll have a chatterbait tied on, and not sure what else yet. We'll go from there and
No, I
see.
think that's a good start. And of course, we'll talk about it next week. We'll shoot for a couple more, and hopefully, we'll get this up at some point next week. This will be the first of a series of postings that we'll do. So we
Might
won't
chuck
give.
that might chuck that popper around too. They're getting some on top water too. So
It's. I was talking to someone about fly fishing, and I said, I love catching. We just said this. We love catching fish, but like, there's something about top water that is so magical. Like for dry fly fishing is just like,
it's that blow up is what it is. Seeing them come
like
up and smack it.
it's so much fun.
Because
Well,
some guys live and die by it. They get bit by that bug and they're gonna live and die by that top water.
there were years that I don't think I threw anything else. I had a popper on all year round, and that's all I threw. And if I didn't catch anything, I was like, whatever, I don't care. But like, now's the season for it. Like, now's like, I'm going to the lake tomorrow. I'm bringing my rod, and I'm gonna put a popper on there, and
Yeah.
that's
So summer times, a lot of guys go to that frog, that top water, mornings and nights. Some guys throw it all day long.
yeah,
Um, my thing is, if they're not biting it consistently, especially at a tournament, I can't sit there with it in my hands. I got to put 5 fish in the boat, and then, I could throw something top water to try to upgrade the bite
yeah,
and get a
yeah,
bigger fish, whether it be a buzz bait or a popper or a frog. You know,
yeah.
it's
I have not mastered the frog yet. I've mastered the frog on the fly rod, but not on. I don't know what it is. It's that double hook on the back of them, on some of the frogs, that just I cannot get to hook, and
you
it's
gotta let them eat it.
yeah, I'm impatient, and it's frustrating. That's yeah, it's an
You gotta
oxymoron.
wait that split second, let them really get it, and then ram that hook home. That's one of the ones you can do a monster hook set, Mike. You can do one of your hawk.
Yes.
That's one of the ones you can put that braid on and rip
Woo!
them out of that crap and just hammer the hook in their head.
I love it. That is
I mean,
awesome.
you have to. When they
Well,
eat
Joe,
it, they eat it. That's you wait that I'm literally you gotta wait like they come up just a split second and boom, then
I'm
set it.
Joe, I'm telling you, man, I see it, and it's like immediately, like, it was there. You're like, ah,
And the
and
frog goes
the
flying.
frog just go right past my head, like, whoo. It's like,
You
ah.
gotta let it get it down there. You gotta let it get it in their mouth and then set it.
Yeah, you know me. We fished
No,
a number of
it's
times together.
okay.
I get so excited. I just love fishing, man. You do too, but I
Yeah,
get
it happens. I mean, it happens to all of us, you
yeah.
know. And
Yep.
I don't know.
I
Tomorrow I might be buying 2 new rods. That's why I need another chatterbait rod, and I
Oh crap! I didn't tell you. I pulled a U.
broke snipped the tip.
I my freaking fly rod, man. I didn't even know it happened. Told you last weekend I went fishing. I went downstairs yesterday into the workroom, and I have it like laying on my table because I was gonna do some maintenance on it. And looking at it, I'm like, that doesn't look right here, right? Like, what the hell's going on? I'm like, looking at my tip's gone. I was like, you son of a bitch. So I went to my friends over at Tight Lines in Parsippany, the fly shop, and it's an LL Bean rod. I've had it for, geez, 15 years now, so it's had a hell of a run. And I said, look, like, I don't want to be buying a new rod. Like, I love this rod. Like, this is my workhorse, right? Like, I've got my step down, and I'm looking to buy a. I think we were debating between a 9 and a 10 weight, but this is my 6 weight. Use it for pretty much everything, and yeah, it hit me right here. I was pretty
Could
upset
they
yesterday.
fix it?
So he said, he goes, well, LL Bean used to have a lifetime warranty on everything. but apparently they've changed it. So I called them and asked them if they would do it, and they said no, they won't even fix it, because they can't guarantee. They don't know it's been purchased there. It's been so long. It was a gift for me.
Right.
Someone bought it for me. So I don't even know like when it was ordered, freaking 16 years ago or whatever. And anyway, so the guys at Tight Lines in Parsippany, they hooked me up with a new tip section. So he,
They
you
did
know, it's like,
replace it.
no, I'm gonna do it. So I got a kit. It was 10 bucks. So it's a series of tips that you basically. It was a clean break. I'm just gonna sand it down, and then the kit comes with like a little bit of glue that you heat up and put on, and you put it in there, and that's it. So I'm missing maybe. I found the tip. It's still attached to the line, and it was maybe not even an inch that was
Oh,
knocked off. So I'm hoping it doesn't mess with the sensitivity too much, and like the cast. I'm sure it will in some way, shape, or form. But um, I was upset. You can ask Donna. Donna was like, "Are you
oh, I
okay?"
believe
Like
it.
I said, she was out, and I texted her. I was like, I'm sick to my stomach. She goes, "Oh my God, are you sick?" Because I had gone out for dinner. She's like, "Do you have food poisoning?" I said, "No, no, no. Like I'm like physically upset that I broke my fly rod that I've had since I was in my 20s. Like this is like, hurts right here, man. It's not no
That's
no.
that's when I broke that chatterbait rod, because I love that thing. That hurt. But hopefully he has another one up there. So
Yeah. Well, we'll wrap up there. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Once again, this is Michael Hacker and Joey McCormick with the Hacker Outdoors podcast. We hope you enjoyed. If you like what you hear, please leave us a review, a like, a thumbs up, whatever it is that you are doing on whatever platform you're listening to or watching this on. And stay tuned for the next episode. Thanks, everyone.